Hello, welcome back.
Wings is different.
Radivores do have a unique ability of being able to bond with humans by what seems to be through a bite or a wound that a human may have. This explains why Gecko is able to understand what his Radivores are saying to him, even though it's unintelligible to everyone else. Deadlock also has a moment of connection with the bear when she's bitten by it, as it looks like a pulse of radianite shoots through her skin. Based on the description of the final missing Radivore, subject ZN35, we have a lot of clues that this Radivore is present on a new map Abyss, and it most likely has to do with the figure inside the Hourglass prison, which is going to be the Protocol's newest agent. It's possible that the new agent may have the missing Radivore with them, kind of like Gecko, or they may be the Radivore themselves in the form of a human-like figure. This new agent seems to have powers which mimic plants, like being able to shoot metallic vines which are spiky, and the player card which teases their release features a metallic looking flower on it. On top of this, we do have a metallic flower that's being experimented on in one of the rooms on Abyss, reading Prisoner Sample, so we know that this isn't just a normal flower. You can even hear that the flower is made of metal if you try hitting it with your knife.
Wonderful.
So we pretty much have all the clues that we need pointing to the missing Radivore and connecting it to our newest agent. I hope this video helped you guys understand a little bit more about Radivores and their history. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below about any theories that you guys may have. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss on future lore videos as well as general videos on Valorant. I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching.
From EDP-445 being exposed as a PDF file to Wilburstood facing an onslaught of damaging allegations, it's hard to imagine that all of these YouTubers were once some of the most loved creators on the platform. However, as a result of betraying their audiences, their careers changed forever. My name's Ryan, and we're gonna find out what happens when a beloved YouTuber becomes hated, starting with the cupcake lover himself, EDP-445. In the early days of YouTube, EDP was loved by almost everyone. What made him popular with his audience was the fact that he had no filter. He was a man who would speak his mind and make videos on any topic, regardless of its grossness or social stigma.
Yeah, I just took a mean ass Chipotle. I used so much tissue to wipe my toilet. When I flushed the toilet, it didn't go all the way down.
EDP earned the reputation as this funny, relatable guy who wasn't afraid to show his real and authentic side of things. However, little did anyone know that underneath his unfiltered personality was a very dirty truth. In 2020, rumors started going around online that EDP-445 was a PDF file, but these rumors were quickly shot down by his audience since there was little to no evidence backing the claims. Though it wouldn't be long before these rumors would gain more credibility, which led to EDP's reputation changing forever. It all started on the 18th of April 2021 when EDP-445 was on his way to pick up a cupcake. However, when EDP arrived, he was instead confronted by a group of people called the Predator Poachers who set up a sting operation to expose him, because in reality, the cupcake was actually a duplicate bear set up by the Pred Poachers to catch EDP red-handed, and he took the bait. They posted the footage to YouTube under the title "Famous YouTuber EDP-445 Caught Meeting Up with Bear," and it immediately went viral. The video started by showing screenshots of inappropriate messages sent by EDP to what he thought was a girl that wasn't old enough on Instagram. After some time, the decoy made plans to meet with EDP in person, and he actually showed up to their agreed location on time. When confronted about this, EDP claimed that he was there just to buy a cupcake.
Oh, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
He also tried to claim that this whole thing was fake and fabricated to create drama and profit from his name. Unfortunately for him, the group confronting him had damning evidence of his inappropriate messages that they published in a 2-hour live stream for the whole world to see. By this point, there was nothing EDP could say or do that would clear his name. These allegations led to YouTube deleting his channel completely and banning him from ever returning to the platform. His Cameo account was also deleted after viewers reported the allegations to the company, leaving EDP with no source of income. EDP went from being an absolute legendary creator who many people looked up for his blunt takes to now one of the most hated people on the internet. But this was just the beginning of his downward spiral. While EDP didn't get in any legal trouble following these allegations, people of the internet weren't going to let him get away scot-free. because after the deletion of his channel, EDP decided to go completely offline and pursue a normal life. However, wherever he went, people kept finding him and reporting his actions to his landlords and bosses, making it extremely difficult to find a place to live in and even find a job. According to a Discord user, EDP even applied for a job at Chuck E. Cheese, but didn't get the job for obvious reasons. What a great job for EDP, surrounded by children all day. Eventually, he stopped looking for a job and began working as a Lyft driver while also delivering food services like Grubhub and Uber Eats. But just like before, his past caught up with him, resulting in him being recognized and eventually getting fired from all three positions.
He was driving Lyft, he was driving for Grubhub and Uber Eats, and all three of those companies fired him.
In a moment of desperation, EDP applied for a name change to regain some anonymity, but as fate would have it, someone found and leaked the document he filed with the government. Not to mention, this was also not a very effective tactic, as a comment on his subreddit pointed out, he's going to need to drop a massive amount of weight in cosmetic surgery if he wants to have the chance of people not being able to recognize him. After trying his luck with regular employment and failing miserably, EDP decided to return to online creation and began streaming on lesser-known platforms like Bigo. He also had a new strategy, which involved leveraging the internet's hate towards him.
His whole, from what I understand, his whole streaming career now is he brings people on and they just insult him. Like, it's like he is literally letting people line up to throw tomatoes at him, you know, as a public humiliation thing, but they have to pay for those tomatoes, so he makes a little bit off of that. That's, at least from what I understand, the whole business model now is just being this human punching bag.
But this didn't work out well for him either, and after facing this constant backlash, EDP made another apology video in July 2023, but instead of winning hearts, it fell flat, as viewers saw right through his fake facade.
I want to take full responsibility for my actions that happened on April 21st, 2021. The entire YouTube that went down, the entire YouTube incident, you know what I mean, that went the down. I'm not even going to get into it. You guys already know what the happened.
Thank you.
Taking full responsibility, full accountability
Chat,
for my actions.
He doesn't even say what he did and what he is guilty of. He just loosely refers to it vaguely and brushes it off quickly. That is the opposite of taking accountability. He doesn't even address it directly.
But there were some people who did believe the apology was sincere and genuine. That would change soon enough though, as a few months later, EDP was caught a second time sending inappropriate messages and pictures to another cupcake in September. This time, he was confronted by big names like Jadian and Skater Gene, who caught him once again messaging people who are not old enough.
This is not a f***ing joke, man.
I'm just seldom at a loss for words. You know, 2 years ago you were caught
Kiss my ass.
in 4K trying to meet a 13-year-old and
I'm not talking to you.
Why?
Really, my this bullshit, man, that y'all pulling right now?
Unlike the last incident, however, law enforcement is fully involved this time and an actual case is being built against EDP for his heinous crimes. Regardless of the outcome of this case, EDP's future looks bleak with no hope of redemption, which many would agree is quite similar to the story of Wilbur Soot. Wilbur has been an online creator for most of his life, uploading his first videos on YouTube back in 2008 when he was just 12 years old. He would hop around a few different channels like Settings 66, Minecraft and Donuts, and A Little Bit of Will. However, Wilbur ultimately settled for a personal channel called Wilbur Soot in 2019 that was focused on Minecraft. This is where his audience truly exploded. He joined the massively popular Dream SMP server and started collaborating with creators like Dream, Tommy Innit, and Tubbo. And while these collaborations certainly helped, what made Wilbur truly popular was his natural charisma and his dedication to making entertaining content for his audience. During this time, Wilbur also uploaded some original music, which went viral with his song called Your New Boyfriend, receiving over 78 million views. With his popularity skyrocketing, Wilbur was becoming one of YouTube's most famous creators. However, all of that would change in 2024, when serious allegations about his off-camera behavior went viral on the internet. Wilbur's downfall began in February of 2024, when a creator by the name of Shelby Shovel hosted a livestream titled Talking About Something More Serious with a trigger warning for abuse. During this livestream, she began recounting her horrible experience with her British ex-boyfriend. And while she didn't give out any names during the stream, viewers quickly made the connection that she was talking about none other than Wilbur Soot. In the stream, the discussion revolved around abuse and early signs of toxic relationships. She bravely shared her experience, revealing that her ex, Wilbur Soot, would regularly bite her. And these weren't gentle or affectionate gestures, they left deep bruises. Shockingly, she admits that at the time, she didn't recognize this behavior as abuse.
When I hear about physical abuse, I think of hitting. I think of hitting and punching.
Today we're going to go over one of the most ridiculously good rune farms available in Elden Ring. With this insanely easy rune farm where you don't even have to fight anything, you'll be getting about 10,000 runes per minute, and you can do this from the very start of the game. Now let's go over exactly where you need to go and what you should have with you. If you're going through this at the very beginning of the game, you're going to want to head over to the Church of Ella, pick up that Lost Grace Point, and then head over to the Lake North Grace Point, just right over here, to acquire your rideable horse, Torrent. Once you've finished talking to the mysterious lady and have acquired your noble steed, we're going to head in a southeast direction across the bridge. Now, the location we're going to be headed to is the Third Church of Marika. And all you need to do is just run across this road and follow the road to the left all the way until you get to the church. Now, this little fork in the road is kind of hard to see when you cross the bridge, but you're just going to head in the direction of the tree and then follow this road all the way down. One thing I do recommend when going through this road, especially if you're very early in the game, is to do it during daytime. If you do it at nighttime, you're going to run into bosses and bats and all sorts of things that you can still run past, but if you're unlucky, they might one-shot you as you try and get past them. As you approach the third church, you're going to be able to see it pretty clearly next to this giant. You can run right past the giant, run inside, and just pick up the Lost Grace points. If you've never been here before, there's going to be two really great items strewn around. Just pick those up. Those will unlock the Flask of Wondrous Physic for you, as well as a Sacred Tear to level up your health potions. Now here, I highly recommend resting at the Site of Grace and passing time until morning if you have not already. There's a very good reason for this, so don't think I'm crazy, because the route that we're going to take to get to this farming spot, you're going to want it to be morning and not nighttime, because you might get clapped. Now, right behind this church is a little portal, and I'll mark it on the map here. It's just in the corner of this water. You can run right out the area that I went through, and if you go up to this portal, you can actually teleport to a new location. This is going to take you to Dragonborough, which is going to help us get to the new farming location. This is actually right next to the old one, and you can farm about 2,000 to 4,000 runes per hour in this particular location. I'll leave a link in the description and in the cards on the top right corner if you want to check that one out. But this new farm, you don't even have to fight anything. We are going to head down this road, and there is a Site of Grace here that I'm going to recommend you pick up just in case. There's a couple different ways to actually get to the location we're going to. We don't want to go across where the dragon is. This is the Site of Grace you can pick up just in case. But once you pick that up, what we need to do is we need to actually get over here. Now, we can get there by crossing this bridge, which is crazy, but we're actually going to cross this little bridge here, which has a boss on it at nighttime that is incredibly strong. That's why we want it to be daytime when we do this. So from this Site of Grace, we're going to go up and around. We're going to ignore every single thing along the way. We're going to turn left right here. And then we're going to go down this little turn bit. Now, there's going to be a ton of poison traps through here. You can kind of just run through them. They're not going to kill you, or you can kind of run on the side. But regardless, you're going to hit a bunch of them on your way. Just you'll be perfectly fine. There's actually another XP exploit that we can do here to get 45,000 runes instantly, and I'll show that at the tail end of this video because it's just a nice little bonus for this area, and since you're in the area, you might as well do it anyways. But once we cross this bridge, we're going to see another Site of Grace next to this building, and we're going to synchronize to that. I don't know why I call it synchronize. I know it's light up, but it just feels better, I guess. I don't know. Now, this is where things get spicy. You don't have to fight anything, and you're going to get a ton of experience. So we've got the Site of Grace unlocked, and we're just gonna run down this road. We're gonna hop on Torrent, and we're gonna run right down here. And you can do this as fast as you want. And right when we get to about here, there's gonna be a giant ball that spawns behind us, and we need to sprint away from that ball. It's gonna fall off the edge, and we're gonna get 1,952 XP. Once that happens, just fast travel back to the Site of Grace. You're gonna hop back on your horse, and you're gonna do it again. It's absurd. And you can get, I tried to see how many times I could do this in a minute, and I got about 5, so it's about 10,000 XP per minute. It's just gonna roll right off the edge. You're gonna get your 2,000 XP, and you're gonna fast travel back. And you can optimize this, because there's a certain point, I think once it goes off the edge, you're gonna get the XP anyway, so once you see it roll off, then you can just initiate the fast travel, and just keep doing it. And you can get so much XP for this. It's absurd. Oh, if it hits you, there's a solid chance it will kill you, so just be careful about that. But yeah, it's the most simple way.
Oh, headshot. It's time to get some grinding then.
To get XP in the game, or runes, or whatever you want to call it. Now that's easy enough, right? If you do this for an hour straight and you average about 5 times per minute, you'll get right around 585,600 runes an hour, which is absurd. And if you want a little added bonus, if you go to your Site of Grace or it becomes nighttime during this process, you'll be able to spawn a boss here. Now this boss will only be available one time. Once you kill it, it won't be back. Now you need to make sure to do this at nighttime because the boss will only spawn at night. Now do not engage this boss for a fight. We're going to be on our mountain. We're going to run past it. And you don't want to sprint either. You might need to sprint like initially just so that he doesn't one-shot you. There we go. So just initially get past him, then don't sprint, and just kite him up this hill while hitting all of these gas traps along the way. So just keep running over all of the gas traps. If he gets up on you, then speed up a little bit. You definitely don't want to let him get too far behind or he'll de-aggro. So if he gets up on you, then sprint, but otherwise just try and run along. And what's crazy is all of these poison traps are also going to poison him. And you should get the enemy felled alert. You'll get 42,000 XP and the Ash of War Bloodhound's Staff, which is awesome. Now, I realize I forgot to mention, if you're watching this and you hadn't actually unlocked your Wondrous Physic yet or upgraded your flasks, what you can do is you can go into your flasks, and the item we got from the church can be used to increase the amount replenished by the flasks. That's the Sacred Tier. And then if you got the Mix of Wondrous Physic, then you can add on to it the Crimson Crystal Tier, and this basically gives you an extra healing potion. But I really do hope you all enjoyed this video. If any of you have any additional tips out there to help the growing Elden Ring community get a little bit better at the game or find ways to easily farm, please let me know in the comments below or reach out on Discord and Twitter. But if you did enjoy the video, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one. You know what the best part of farming runes in Elden Ring is? Not actually having to do it. And that's exactly what we're going to be showing you today. We're going to be going over an AFK rune farm where you can get hundreds of thousands of runes without actually having to do a single thing. This location is easily the best AFK farming area in all of Elden Ring. Now, this is going to be the best spot for you if maybe you're wanting to watch a movie or something on Netflix and you really just don't want to be running back and forth dodging a ball. Or perhaps you're working from home and it would be bad if you, I don't know, were playing Elden Ring all day while you were supposed to be working, but you can still play Elden Ring and get a whole bunch of XP while you're getting your job done. And sometimes this AFK rune farm will last like 30 minutes, sometimes it'll last 10, sometimes it'll last 2. It is prone a little bit to glitching, but sometimes it will just last forever, and you can just sit here in your Mimic's Veil acting like a freaking statue and just rake in tons of runes. The last time that I did this, I was able to get 125,000 runes before I ended up just leaving the area. I think it also had broken, but we're going to go over exactly how to unlock this particular rune farm. Extremely easy because it does involve defeating a rather difficult boss to be able to get here. Now, unfortunately, to unlock this particular rune farm, we need to defeat Star Scourge Radon. And you're in luck. I've got a way to cheese it, so anybody should be able to beat it with relative ease. Now, I do have a separate video going far more in depth on how to take down Star Scourge Radon. If you want to check that out, I'll leave it linked in the description below. But essentially, we need to head into Caelid, following this road all the way down until you get to the Caelid Highway South. From here, you're going to head just a little bit farther south to the Cathedral of the Dragon Communion. From here, you're going to want to go to the altar, and you're going to want to pick up something called Rotten Breath. You're going to need to give this altar a dragon heart to be able to unlock it, but it is so good. Now, this particular spell causes Scarlet Rot, and all you need to do is hit Radon 2 times in phase 1 with this to be able to take him down to half health, and then 2 times in phase 2 to be able to kill him. Now, before you go in, you're going to want to make sure that you have one of your incantation equipment, your finger seals, equipped on your right hand, so that way you can easily cast the spell when you need to. Now, you're also going to want to have a few of your flasks set for FP regen, and once you get inside, the main goal is to just not get hit. He's going to be shooting these purple arrows at you that you can dodge through or under, and then you're going to start reviving your fallen friends. So keep dodging these purple arrows, and you can also use the weapons that are in the field to be able to actually absorb one of the hits. Once you revive the big bull dude, he's going to start shooting arrows up in the air. You can actually just block these with your shield and then continue dodging the purple bolts or get completely blasted by one. Whatever your heart desires, just try not to die. It's okay if you get hit by 1 or 2 of them, but the shield does work really well for these arrows if you're very far away. We're going to revive this last friend over here to be able to be a healer, and then from here we're going to hop on our horse. We're going to run in and pick up this last friend, and now we do have our finger seal equipped and we have Rotten Breath ready to go. We're going to be patient and wait for an opening behind Radon to run in and apply 1 level of this Rotten Breath. We need to apply 2 of them, so do it and then run away, because sometimes this will cause him to aggro you rather than the friends, and the goal is to just keep running from him until he starts focusing on your friends anymore. Basically, this is a game of sacrifice. We're sacrificing our friends to live. This is a game of patience. If you try and rush in too soon, you might just die. So there we go. He's aggroed his friends again, and what we can do now is just run in, get an opening behind him. We have to apply 2 levels in each phase. There's 2 phases to this fight, and each time we need to hit him with at least 2 Rotten Breaths. That's all we need to do is 2. Now that we've hit him with 2, he's actually taking damage every second. This is going to take him all the way into phase 2. And our main goal right here is to just keep running away until he disappears off the map. If at any point in time he starts just chasing you again, just keep running away. And once he hits about halfway health, or just below half, he's going to disappear. You'll hear the music get quieter, which means he's kind of vanished. You can run around and gather up your friends, but he's going to come like a freaking meteor out of the sky, and you just need to run away from the direction that he's falling in. He's going to hit the ground, and now you have entered phase 2. At this point in time, what I do is I just keep running away from him, making sure I revive all of our fallen friends, so that way they can be the focus of his hatred. I don't recommend running into him. He can easily one-shot you in this phase. If you keep running away from him kind of at an angle, then you shouldn't get hit by any of his ranged attacks or anything like that. But the main goal is just patience in this phase. I know it looks like he's almost dead, but he can go crazy in this particular one. There we go. Now he's focused on our friends, and this allows us to have an opening to apply our first level of Rotten Breath. Basically, when he disappears, it resets all the debuffs on him, so we have to reapply Rotten Breath. We hit him once, we're just going to run away very quickly and wait until we verify that he has aggroed our friends once again, which it looks like he has, but I'm just going to go around and make sure that we revive everything that we can. Because sometimes, even when he's aggroed your friends, if you run into him, he'll like charge at you, and like, I don't even know what kind of attack it is. I've just died instantly. So I've learned at this phase 2 in particular, patience is very, very much key. I'm going to run around the edge of this here just to make sure there's no more friends. And then we're going to try and just come at him from the back and apply our last level of Rotten Breath, which should allow us to easily defeat Radon. Once Radon's been defeated, you're going to head over to the corner of this particular area to the War Dead Catacombs. It's going to be right along the beach here, and you can open up this door and go inside. From here, we're just going to pick up this Site of Grace, and you can rest at it. And then we're going to head down these stairs. Now, the crazy thing about this is sometimes it'll last 10 minutes, sometimes it'll last hours. It is very much prone to breaking, but if you're doing stuff around the house and just don't feel like, you know, dodging a ball or fighting things, you can get a lot of other things done while just passively gaining XP. And that's why I really like this, because quite frankly, I like doing multiple things at a time. So we can go down these stairs, and we're going to spawn the ones down at the bottom. Then from here, we're going to go back up, and then we're going to sit on the stairs right here. Now, this seems to be the best spot that I have found to be able to keep this actually working as long as possible without actually ever getting attacked. This spot right here, and then I kind of just tilt my camera down to where they spawn. When you're in this spot, you can just use it, the Mimic's Veil if you want, but you don't really need to. But you can experiment with different spots in here with the Mimic's Veil to really try and find the best way to keep all of these ghosts spawning and continuously killing each other. Now, it does take a little while for them to die, but when they do, you do get around like 3,000 XP, well 3,600 XP per kill, which is pretty nice. And right now, we do have the Gold Scarab equipped, so if you don't know how to get this, I have another video on how to get a bunch of items, well 2 items, that will drastically boost your XP or runes in Elden Ring. And you can see here that some of these soldiers are spawning up top. The hope is that they would end up falling down to the bottom to continue fighting. So this one might end up breaking, but we'll see how long it lasts. But this is really all there is to it. Just sit here, collect XP as long as you can before it breaks, then just reset it up for yourself and continue collecting XP.
You see the players who dominate on YouTube, who get most of the views, most of the money, and you think they just got lucky, right? The truth is, YouTube is a game, and right now, you're losing. But that's because nobody has shown you the cheat codes, the secret.
Chat with the signal.
Bro, what?
Secrets the top 1% of YouTubers know, but you don't. You see, YouTube is the greatest massively multiplayer online game ever created. Millions of people around the world are playing simultaneously, each one looking to level up and gain more views and subscribers. But unlike most other online games, succeeding at the game of YouTube will give you very real rewards. With the right strategies, YouTube can make you rich, it can make you famous, and it can help you unlock the life you've always dreamed of. Anyone with internet access can play the game of YouTube, and everyone starts out in the exact same place. 0 views, 0 subscribers, 0 revenue. But the game has many different skills to master. Editing, thumbnails, storytelling. Every YouTuber has a score for all their different abilities, and to progress in the game, they need to level these up higher. It's no use being a 10 at titles if your video production quality is a 2. Unfortunately, there's no tutorial at the start, meaning most people are trapped at the bottom levels of the game. It's very competitive down here, with so many people grinding hard, making video after video and getting nowhere, watching on as the elites dominate. Many choose to blame the algorithm, which is often talked about like the god of YouTube, a magical force that controls who wins and loses, a boss that must be conquered. People even have superstitions about it, like if you don't post enough, the algorithm won't like it and will punish you. But it's time you knew the truth. It's time you knew how to win the game of YouTube. Firstly, let's address the most obvious question. What the hell am I talking about? How is YouTube like a game? Well, millions of people online are all competing to grow their YouTube channels. And to level up, you need to learn new abilities and train your different skills, which will help you gain more views, subscribers, and revenue. There are also features and rewards to unlock along the way, like access to the community tab or the partner program to earn money from ads. And if you spend your earnings wisely, you can acquire different tools and equipment to level up your videos further. And soon you may be unlocking sponsorships, partnerships, and even physical awards like play buttons. Of course, there are many different paths and strategies to succeed. For example, there are different classes you can choose. Tech, travel, gaming, science, business, finance, and literally endless more. It's up to you where you specialize depending on your interests and skill set. But we're all ultimately playing the same game, and just like any online game, you compete against other players. The difference in YouTube is it's a battle for attention and influence, and thus who you team up and align yourself with can affect your journey a lot. A good video you make on YouTube or a comment to the right person could lead to you making a connection with someone else who then shares a useful new strategy with you or opens up new opportunities and contacts for you. It could even lead to a collaboration where you team up and share audiences so you both grow faster. Because every new video you post is an opportunity to advance in the game. But instead of XP, you're gaining views and subscribers. Now, most people start out playing the game passively as a side hobby, just occasionally posting a random video and lacking any real strategy. But the more you play the game by posting videos and testing things, the more you learn and improve, which allows you to earn more money so you can make better videos, build a team to help you, and work your way up the leaderboard. Your YouTube studio is your game equivalent of a map to show if you're heading in the right direction, a dashboard to measure your in-game performance and your channel's health and success. And just like you personalize your character in a game, you also personalize your channel and playstyle in the game of YouTube. Some choose to use themselves as their avatar, others like myself try to build a brand instead. But it's easy to forget we're all essentially competing to press the right buttons on our computer in the right order. With the right mouse clicks and keyboard strokes, you can build an empire from your laptop. However, the game is constantly evolving. New updates get added like shorts, which are currently overpowered and present an opportunity to grow faster. And the further in the game you advance, more opportunities open, including very lucrative side quests. The right strategy can literally make you millions of dollars, but different people play the game for different reasons. Some seek fame, prestige, and influence. And it's true, YouTube can let you spread your ideas and messages to the world, build an audience who love you, and even gain access to members of high society. In fact, YouTube can unlock opportunities to do almost anything you want. It all depends what your personal endgame is. For many, the dream is to turn their channel into an evergreen money machine. This is where you're a full-time creator. You wake up when you want, knowing your channel made money while you were sleeping. Genuine passive income. You look out at the stunning view and smile because you know you can work on whatever you want today and explore whatever creative ideas you desire. All of this is possible if you play the game of YouTube well. But right now, well, you're all the way back at the start, the lower levels where it feels impossible to grow. And herein lies the problem. When you start a normal online game like World of Warcraft, or my personal favorite from back in the day, old school RuneScape, there's a tutorial at the beginning to guide you through what you need to do. But with YouTube, there's no tutorial. You're thrown straight in at the deep end with no clue what you're doing or how to succeed, which is why so many try and fail and end up blaming the mystical algorithm.
You there. Could you
Sure, you may search for help, but so much YouTube advice is either outdated or just straight up terrible, like telling you to spend hours on keywords and tag research. As a result, most people never progress and wrongly believe it's now too late to grow big on YouTube, as there's just so much competition. This is why the game of YouTube can be visualized in a cyberpunk world. It's just instead of mega corporations dominating, the elite 1% of top creators dominate, whilst everyone else struggles at the lower levels. However, what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? There's a quote I love that's attributed to Einstein, which is, you have to learn the rules of the game and then you have to play better than anyone else. And that's simply what the best players do. They understand the mechanics of how the game works and then execute better than the rest. Because YouTube is not a game of chance, it's a game of strategy. Unfortunately, most people just don't understand the game they're actually playing. In this video, we'll change that. We'll look at how you level up fast, rapidly gain views and subscribers, and the cheat codes to making lots of money from the game of YouTube so you can build the life you truly want. But first, I must warn you, most who try to play the game of YouTube fail. As with any game, each new level presents new tests for you. There are many enemies and challenges to overcome. Haters who will attack you, videos that get demonetized. You can even lose lives in the game by getting strikes against your channel for breaking the rules. 3 strikes and your account is banned, and that's game over. Worst of all, some completely lose themselves to the game of YouTube and sacrifice their mental health in their quest for growth. Don't let your health bar fall too low. But hopefully you can now see how YouTube is ultimately an online game with real-world consequences and rewards. And whether you realize it or not, you begin playing the game at the second you move from being a consumer to a creator, from just an NPC watching others to an active player of the game making content. And so, the next question is simple. How do you win? How to grow on YouTube in 1 sentence. Get people to click your video, then watch your video, then come back for more of your videos. Now, I realize you may be tempted to roll your eyes and close this video, because what I just said is so stupidly obvious. But asking how to get more views is the YouTube equivalent of asking how do I lose weight? The answer is eat less calories and exercise more. We all know the answer, the hard part is the execution. So even though this really is the formula to grow on YouTube, the real question to ask is not how do I get more views, it's how do I make better videos people actually want to click and watch. And this is where we'll use something called the content scorecard. But before we get to that, let's quickly explain everything you need to know about the algorithm. YouTube's algorithms are simply designed to show each viewer the content they think they'll like most. Sure, it's not always perfect, but it's pretty accurate. But this means one of the biggest hacks is whenever you hear the word algorithm, just instead think of the word audience. So if you're asking why doesn't the algorithm like my videos, instead ask why doesn't the audience like my videos? Instead of what time should I upload that's best for the algorithm, ask what time should I upload that's best for the audience? Instead of how often does the algorithm want me to post, ask how often does the audience want me to post? And instead of how do I get the algorithm to recommend my videos more, ask how do I get the audience to recommend my videos more? Make content they'd want to share with other people and talk about. Because if your videos aren't getting as many views as you want, it's not that the algorithm has randomly decided to not recommend them, it's that the audience isn't clicking or watching them as much. And if you're doubting this and are convinced the algorithm is overly biased to certain creators, you just have to think about it from YouTube's perspective. They're a business, and they primarily want people to stay on their platform as long as possible, as they're making more ads and YouTube makes more money. So if you're helping keep people on YouTube longer, they'll want to promote your videos more. And this is why it's counterintuitive when people worry about the algorithm changing. The algorithm just follows the audience. So you should instead think about it as audience preferences changing. Because one thing is certain, YouTube will keep trying to make the algorithm serve people content they will enjoy more. And as technology improves further, YouTube is only going to get better at this. So worry about the audience, because winning the game of YouTube is not about beating an algorithm, it's about understanding human psychology. And this concept of algorithm equals audience also explains why it's important you have a niche on YouTube. And by the way, I'm British, we say niche, not niche, but same thing. Basically, having a specific genre for your channel. That doesn't mean you can't experiment with different topics, but it means you should always be trying to serve the same audience. If people subscribe to you for your comedy sketches, and then you start posting serious debates, it's a completely different value proposition to what they signed up for. It'd be like if someone subscribes to ESPN, and then they suddenly change all their programs to gardening shows. Because when you post a new video, essentially what happens is YouTube first recommends it to your most loyal audience who regularly watch your content, as these are the people most likely to enjoy it. But if you post a video that's not at all in line with what your audience subscribed for, you won't get many clicks, audience retention will be low, and so YouTube is less likely to recommend it as much. However, on the flip side, if those initial viewers do respond well, YouTube recommends the video to a slightly wider audience, like people who just occasionally watch your content. And if they respond well too, it recommends your video to an even broader audience again, who perhaps have never seen your videos. And this is how a video goes viral. If at each stage people respond well, the video gets shown to a wider and wider audience, which is why click-through rate and audience retention actually go down as the video's views increase, as it's being shown to new audiences who aren't yet familiar with you. Okay, so that's a quick overview of why a video gets more views, but now let's talk about how you can actually do that. Every YouTube video can be scored on 10 key attributes, which I call the content scorecard. The higher your video scores on each of these different things, the higher your chance of success. So basically, these are the skills you want to level up. And right now, we're going to look at each one individually and some pro tips to help you immediately score higher. Number 1. Video topic and concept. This includes factors like how unique, remarkable, or interesting is the video idea, and also how broad is the video's appeal, meaning is there demand for this right now, and how many people might be interested in this. Pro tip. If you want a viral video, it needs to be a concept that could appeal to millions of people. And most importantly, you need to design the video as if it's someone's first time watching your content. They shouldn't need to have seen your other videos or require lots of context. It should be immediately accessible to a wide audience. Number 2. Title. How compelling is it to click on? Contrary to popular belief, the title's purpose is not just to explain what your video is, it's your headline to advertise your video in the most interesting and intriguing way possible. It should create a feeling of, I need to click that right now. Pro tip. Studies have been done analysing viral videos and found they tend to have shorter titles, as they're easier to understand and they don't cut off. The biggest mistake new creators make is they try to optimise their titles for search results instead of optimising for people. For example, I could have just stuffed loads of keywords in and called this video something like YouTuber growth tips, how to grow on YouTube quickly and how to get more YouTube views. But as we know, the algorithm equals the audience, so make interesting titles people want to click on, something that sparks curiosity. Because although search results are great, going viral comes from your video being recommended on the homepage or in the suggested bar, and for that you need a higher click-through rate, which you get from appealing to humans, not search engines. Number 3. Thumbnail. How well does your thumbnail stand out when shown amongst other thumbnails? Does it grab attention to stop people scrolling? Does it create a feeling of